Here's the rest of your money. Now get out.
The humiliation didn't come with shouting or fists. It came wrapped in laughter, polished shoes, and the kind of smile that assumes immunity. We were at a private investment reception, the kind of place where the lighting is warm and the conversations are cold. My wife, Clara, had been distant all evening, drifting away from me in small increments. I noticed, but I didn't chase. Chasing only makes people run faster. Then he appeared. Julian Ward, venture capital, family money, effortless confidence. The kind of man who never checks price tags. He slid into our space as if it were reserved for him, speaking to Clara like I wasn't there. She responded instantly. Her posture changed. Her laugh sharpened. Suddenly I was invisible. Julian looked me up and down slowly, not aggressively, just dismissively, like you'd look at an outdated phone. He smiled, reached into his pocket, and flicked a folded bill toward the floor near my shoes. "Bar's crowded," he said lightly. "You might want to grab yourself something cheap." The bill landed silently, but the moment echoed. A few people laughed. Clara didn't stop him. That was the part that stayed with me. She didn't defend me. She stepped closer to him instead. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't pick up the money. I just nodded once, turned, and walked out of the room with my back straight and my hands steady. Some people confuse silence with defeat. They don't understand that silence is often the moment a decision is made. I drove home alone that night and slept better than I had in months. The truth was, Clara had been drifting for a long time. Promotions, new friends, new tastes? I built infrastructure for a living, logistics most people never think about but rely on every day. She saw my work as unglamorous, something she had outgrown. What she never bothered to understand was how deeply everything around her depended on what I did. Over the next few weeks I said nothing. I didn't accuse or confront. I just watched. Clara packed more often and stayed out later. When she finally told me she was leaving, she framed it as an upgrade, a better life. A man who could give her access. I wished her well. That really confused her. The divorce moved quickly. She assumed I'd fight, but I didn't. I let her take what she thought mattered and kept. What actually did? Networks, contracts, knowledge. Julian's world looked impressive from the outside, but it ran on fragile structures, leverage, loans, overextended promises. His firm had recently acquired several startups that depended on logistics, all of which relied on systems my company quietly maintained. I didn't sabotage anything. I simply renegotiated. I stepped away from exclusivity agreements, legally, cleanly, and publicly. I didn't target him. I just made better offers to his competitors. Slowly, supply chains shifted. Costs rose, timelines slipped. Investors hate unpredictability. Julian started bleeding credibility long before he even realized why. Deals fell apart. Boards started asking tough questions. Clara, now fully embedded in his life, watched the confidence she'd been attracted to erode under the pressure. The next time I saw them was at another event months later. Smaller, tighter, less champagne. Julian looked tired. Clara looked uncertain. When she noticed me across the room, her face flickered with something like recognition. He didn't throw money that night. He barely looked at me. I didn't approach them. I didn't need to. Power doesn't announce itself. It operates. Within a year, Julian's firm was absorbed by a larger group for a fraction of its value. He stayed on briefly, then just disappeared from relevance. Clara reached out once, tentatively, asking if we could talk. I politely declined. People imagine revenge as something loud and cruel. It isn't. Real revenge is living well in a way that makes explanations unnecessary. I still have that folded bill, pressed inside a book on my shelf. Not as a trophy, but as a reminder. Some people measure their worth by what they can throw away. Others measure it by what they build and protect. I know which side I'm on. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more. See you next time.